Hey guys, welcome back. So in the last video, we discussed how does the internet work. We saw two different worlds. One is the client world and the other one is the server world. We discussed like how does the client send a request to the server and then we get back the response in bits and pieces from the server. We also saw like client generally do not make one single call to the server. It makes recursive calls to the server in order to get all the resources. What are resources? Resources were mainly our CSS, JavaScript, images, GIFs, videos, all these things are resources. Then in the second part, we looked at the server side. We saw what are the different configurations of server which exist in the world. We discussed what are the different tech stack on which you can build a server, LAMP stack, MERN, mean, different kind of stacks. And to end the video, we actually discussed a high level overview of how does the server world of bigger companies looks like. So it turns out it's not a single server. There are multiple servers which are behind the ELB, the elastic load balancer, and the elastic load balancer balances the load to multiple servers. Okay, so that's where we end the last session. In this video, we are going to look at a more like practical scenario wherein we will have one live server, one live client, and we will see how do they interact with each other. Okay, so for our example, we are taking dmux.in website and we have the server logs as well of dmux.in. So it is here is the server logs and here's the website. So let me just quickly open up the network tool here. So these are the Chrome developers tool. I would highly recommend you guys to go through them again because they will help you a lot while debugging web applications. Okay, so we quickly go to the network tab. The network tab essentially what it does, it shows us all the requests which are coming to the client. Now if I try to quickly reload my website here, you will see tons of resources getting populated here. Okay, tons of resources. Let us wait for a web page to load up. Yeah, so the web page is loaded up. Now let us go to the very first request which you get here. This is the HTML and index.html page which I was talking about in the last video. Okay, so if you see, this website is built upon Laravel. It's a web framework which we have used, PHP based web framework, and this is the very beginning, like this is the very first page which we get from the server. After this page, the browser will start parsing the web page, and when it encounters different other web pages, it will call this file. So for example, let us look at the source code of this. So if we look at the source code, starting from here, the first resource which it would be calling is this favicon.ico, and style.css. So here also, if we see, we are calling a style.css in the first place. Favicon will come with the probably my browser has cached the favicon, so it does not come down here. But style.css is the first file which we are getting. Now let us go back and see which is the next file which is coming up. So then we will have a lot of different files. We see here jQuery min.js is coming up. Then there is owl.carousel.js, and then there is main logo.png. So these are all the resources which I was talking about. Okay, this is the main, like the primary call, the primary response which you get from the server. And after which my browser will start parsing the web page and see, okay, these files are also coming in the web page. Let me make another call to the server. So these all are part of different requests which I'm making to the server, right? And these all are actually our resources. Now this is about the client side. Let us look at the server side of what actually happened. So if you see here at the server side, we already got the logs. Okay, so this is the very first request which I get here, dmux.in register on, probably this is someone else. Now this is the second request which you get, dmux.in. Here if you see, in the subsequent calls, we will be getting all of these resources. All of these resources will get called. So if you see, style.css is actually getting called here. Style.css is getting called here as well. Then the next one is jQuery min.js. So again, we call jQuery min.js, and these are just the files which are located on my server. So what my Apache is doing here is Apache is reading the location of the file. It is reading, okay, where is the file located, and then it is serving me this particular file. The third file is owl.carousel.js. It's a library. You will see it when we will be doing the project. So owl.carousel.js is actually getting populated here. Okay, so if you see, the same order is getting followed at the client side and the server side. Why? Because the server is sending files one after another. The browser, the client is making different call to the server. The server in this case is this, and server is serving all of these files. Okay, one important thing to notice here is see the status code. So it is returning 200 every single time. Okay, so this basically means, if you guys remember, was okay, like everything is fine, we have read the request, server is saying we have read the request and we are giving back the response. The other thing is the process ID. So this will tell me which process it started in order to serve the request. And then there are some metadata along the client. So this metadata along the client is Macintosh, Intel. This is about the operating system which I'm using. Chrome is the browser which I used, and so on. Okay, so these calls are making subsequent, like getting subsequent results, and these are all the files which are required for me to build this web page. Okay, so I think this client server thing would be clear by now to everyone, how we are making a call to a server, how the server is responding back with all the files. By now you might be getting clear idea that these are actually the files which are getting served by Apache. So Apache is returning by each and every file, and my client here is getting the same number of files. The size is also mentioned here. If you see size and time, how much time it would take for me to get a particular file. Okay, cool. So yeah, this ends our discussion around how does the internet work. Although like we are going to cover this topic again in depth when we discuss other system design topics, and like we'll keep iterating through this topic again and again, just to get more in-depth knowledge about how does the client and server interact and how does in general the network protocols work. So yeah, cool, thank you.